So late and I'm so sorry. So late and so sorry. Um, it's not time zones, it's things that we have to do. I had to show up at a funeral this afternoon. I had not known that it was this afternoon. Well, I did. I just had got the time confused. And so I'm sorry. But I am here. And I thank all of you, those of you who are on, who, as you come on, how do you do? I do very well, thank you, Mr. Castro. I do very well. And how are you? And thank you for being on. Thank you for being here. Okay. Um, this is Elevation 2023. Elevation 2023. And if I sound a little bit hurried and you just logged on, you didn't hear me, again, I am, let me apologize for being late. One of the things about these everyday lives, I did some last year. I did a 30 days last year, which wasn't 30 actually. We did 45 days actually, which was amazing and fun and hectic. Because you think that at first it's you schedule and you go on, but what we had been doing, because we want to reach women all over the world in all time zones, we move them around, which is what I'm doing with this one also. That can sometimes get you into trouble. And right now, when, for example, where I am at the moment, we are on Atlantic Standard Time, which sometimes is the same as Eastern Time, which means that sometimes we're on the same time as New York or the East Coast of the United States. Sometimes you're not. Right now, we are not. We're an hour. It's an hour difference. So 4 o'clock in New York would be 3 o'clock here. So when I said 4 o'clock, it should have been 3 o'clock. Then there's this funeral at 2 o'clock that I had to go to. So, but what we're going to continue doing, however, is we're going to continue moving them around so that people in different time zones can log in, can check in, can be on live. Because remember, this is a global matter. It's a global affair we're doing here this year. So Elevation 2023 is a global thing. So we're reaching women everywhere. We're talking with women in Ghana, women in Europe, women in England, women in Nigeria, women in South Africa, women in South America, women in the Caribbean, women in India, so far. And actually 2 women from Malaysia. So women are logging in from all over the world. And so I want to move it around so that sometimes, so everybody gets a chance to be live. So I started in the afternoon. Then we're going to go. There'll be times when I'm doing a live at 1 o'clock at night, my time, because that would be 5 o'clock in the morning. That'd be 1 o'clock in the afternoon for someone, because there also are some people in Shanghai who will log on. And we are 15 hours difference. And again, I'm getting confused because sometimes where I am it's a 12-hour difference. Sometimes we're here, it's 15. But that's a cool thing about doing this. That's a cool thing about this. Years ago, in 2000, actually, I was working for a newspaper in New York, and I was sent to the United Nations General Assembly Special Session on Women. I was sent to report back. And I went to the United Nations building in New York City. And day one, I walked in and was just, I was overwhelmed. There were all these beautiful women, all shapes, sizes, colors, all kinds of clothes from all over the world, assembled to talk, to engage with one another, to meet one another, to talk about important things, to look for solutions for important things. And I spent those days just mesmerized, amazed, fascinated, and wide open to learning everything that there was to learn. I spoke to women from the Himalayas. I spoke to women from the Azores. I spoke to women from all over Africa, South America, women from the Andes in their traditional dress. It was just the most amazing time. And that is one of the things that kind of, it was nice to see you too, at Bank of Montserrat. That's one of the, I guess you could call on the seminal events in my work with women, because it just put everything in a whole different frame. It just put everything in a whole different frame. And over the years, my work with women around the world has continued. I've been lucky enough to have worked with and work with women. My work with women of different countries and languages and so on, but also in different fields of work. So in recent years, a lot of my work has been with women in politics. So I dealt with parliamentarians. I was the chair of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians of the Caribbean, Americas, and Atlantic region. And I also was the vice chair of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. And so those two things gave me access to an interaction with women parliamentarians from all over Africa, from all over the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is 53, 54 countries. And the parliamentarians, the different parliaments, the federal parliament and the local parliament, the provincial parliaments and so on, all said people. And it was an amazing time. It was amazing and very different, obviously, to working with, in many ways, but not entirely, to working with women in corporate, for example. Different, but the same. Very different to working with young women in universities. Different, but the same. I remember I said yesterday, one of the things one of the reasons why I do the work that I do and I'm so deeply committed is because I keep remembering. Hello, Melanie, and thank you and welcome. I keep remembering one of the things my grandmother taught me. My grandmother told me years ago when I was a child, and she told me once, twice, I don't know how many times, that we women must always look out for each other because we all have the same troubles. No matter where we live in the world, she said, we all have the same troubles. And my work with women around the world also got me to understand we all have the same aspirations, the same range of aspirations and desires and ambitions. We all want to contribute. We all want to develop ourselves and explore and find out all the most powerful, the most potent, the most creative, the most competent parts of ourselves, the most loving, the most giving, all of those. And we want to be able to contribute as much of ourselves, all of ourselves. We want to be able to contribute what we want to contribute. But of course, part of the troubles of women is that in many instances, we are not allowed, we're disallowed, we are prevented even through violence, all kinds of violence, intimate partner violence, domestic violence, community violence, religious inspired violence, the patriarchal system. Yeah. So I do this work because I firmly believe that women have the right to contribute everything that we want. And furthermore, we have the capacity to contribute enormously. We have been doing it all along, just not being recognized for it. And that has stunted the growth of many women, pushed many women back, and has stunted the growth of the human race, to my mind, the growth of our civilizations. And so my big ambitious goal this year is to do something extra to shift that narrative, to change it. And so I came up with Elevation 2023, ran it through some people, had some conversations with some people that I love to work with. Hello there. I love to work with women and men who appreciate my work, who know my work, and who feel the same way that I do. And some others who disagree with some of the things that I feel, but who agree with the overall idea that it serves us all best when women are allowed, women are free to make our contributions. And so Elevation 2023 is what we're working on right now. And the big goal of Elevation 2023 is to bring together at least 1,000 women in an organization. 1,000 women by the end of this year, and 100 women this weekend. So Castro, go to work. Get some women to join. 100 women this week, 100 women next week, and we must have at least 1,000 women registered, joined, being members of the Women's Leadership Circle and Elevation 2023. Not just for the sake of being numbers, but because, among other things, what I have learned to my work, what I've seen to my work, is that women also want communication with other women. Women want to be communicating with other women. Women want to be connected. We are socialized that way. That's how we are. And some years ago, I did some work with women political leaders, which is I can't remember who the leader of it is, but this woman, the foundation, founding tenet of this organization was precisely that she had done assessments through European Union and other the United Nations and so on, and had found that in fact women say that we crave connection with other women, we crave communion with other women, communication with other women, relationship with other women, the same as and different to us. And her organization, Women Political Leaders, works with women to develop them into political leaders, which of course, is the ultimate, because as we all know, it is politics that I keep looking over there because my Instagram is on my other phone. So actually the views are different. Women, and I got myself distracted there. She works with women in politics because, as we all know, politics is what forms government, yes, and government is where laws are found, legislation is created, policies are created that touch everybody in the countries. So when I'm doing my work by myself to the organizations, when we are doing our work through our organizations by ourselves, outside of government, we can make difference. We can make a difference. We can lobby. We can agitate. We can activate, and we can change things. But ultimately, the things that get changed, very often, the things that we want to change still have to revert to the government for the legislation, the policies that would make that change. Think of violence against women. Think of equal pay. Think of maternity leave. All of those are things that women have been lobbying for and working for outside of government, but that ultimately had to come to government. If you think of climate change, what's going to make the difference in climate change? Legislation. So it all comes back to that. So Women Political Leaders has been doing a lot of work on that, on women as political leaders. Sorry, and my time with the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians allowed me also to do some of that. I'm grateful for that, and I continue to support and encourage women to become politicians. One of my organizations is called For Political Women. Sorry, because I want women to become political leaders. Because the world needs us in those places, making decisions and deciding on legislation. And so all of that, I say all of this to bring us to the topic for today. The area for today that we're touching is, what do you want? What do you want? Yesterday, we just said we're talking about you, girlfriend. We're talking about you. We're talking about us. We're talking about us as women. And the big question is, what do women want? Of course, we can't answer all that question today. And in fact, I'm going to turn that around, especially because there are men on here. I want to say this. I'm going to turn the question around to not what women want. We know what we want, girls, and we talk about it all the time. And the men know what we want, what we do not want. What we do not want, despite what men think, and some women. We don't want to take over the world and run roughshod over everybody. No. We are looking for a partnership to heal the world. We're looking for a partnership to make people's lives better. We're looking for partnerships to improve communities. We are not looking for world domination. We are looking for partnership. We want to be a part of what's going on. We want to be a part of the decision making because it involves us. One of the things that we said in the and women's organizations around the world are saying this: nothing about women without women. Nothing about women without women. Yesterday, I talked about Afghanistan, where the Taliban government is pushing women underground. It's hiding women away, forcing women out of society and into the home and nowhere else. The last thing I read, which I mentioned yesterday, was that women are no longer going to be allowed to go for medical treatment to male doctors. And I said, bear in mind that women are not being allowed to go to school and universities either. So therefore, there will soon be no women doctors. Oh, but also women are not allowed to work. Women are being pushed out of the world of work. So many women will not be able to see a doctor. What will that mean? Women are going to die. Many women are going to die. I think you can't be a woman in the world, or a man for that matter, and not feel a type of way about that. Not wonder, who are these people? What is this? What do they want? What do they think women want? Of course, Afghanistan is not the only place where this and similar things are happening. That's not the only group of people. And people are being, women are being pushed underground all over the place in different ways. Yeah. That's just one of the most egregious examples. So the question of what we want today, I'm going to answer with what we do not want. As we go through Elevation 2023, we're going to talk about what we individually want, what we want as individuals, what each of us wants, because that's what a lot of what this is about. It's us developing ourselves, finding the space in which to explode into the biggest, highest, most beautiful, most competent, most productive, most fulfilled versions of ourselves. That's what Elevation 2023 is about. Yes? So every day for this week, for this month, every day for February, I'm going to be on here at some time, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to ensure that I let you know ahead of time. I think what will have to happen is that I'll have to let you know a general idea first, and then later on, most closer to the time, more specifically, because I'll also be traveling this month. And when you know how that works, I might be in airports and so on when I need to talk on a flight. So I need to reschedule. I need to be very careful about my scheduling for Elevation 2023 live February. But I invite you to please stay with me, come back every day, invite people, invite some women to join us, go join us. Those of you who are women, those of you who are men, go sign up somebody who's important to you. Give them a gift. Give them a gift of membership in the Women's Leadership Circle. It's $30 for the year. It's normally $50. We're doing $30 for the year because, like I said, the big goal is at least 1,000 women signed up. And we want to start strong. The reason why we're doing February, every day in February, because we are starting strong, going full bore to begin with, so that we accomplish a lot right up front. And then that gives us a time to do even more as we go through the year. This is about elevating individuals so that we can elevate our communities. And so I'm inviting you into the Women's Leadership Circle. I'm inviting you to join. If you go on shirleyosborne.com, www.shirleyosborne.com, click Yes, I'm in. It'll take you right to where you get to register for your membership. And then you begin to work. Because it is work. It is work. It's not a walk in the park. We're working on ourselves, and we're going to go through some stuff. We're going to go through some stuff which will open us up, elevate us, brighten us up, and strengthen us. And that's the point. That's the whole point of this. So that on the 31st of December, we can celebrate. We have accomplished something powerful and wonderful and life-changing for us or for somebody else in this year, and we get to celebrate on the 31st of December. And the cool thing is, the celebration party, the big one, the center of it is going to be in Montserrat, the little island that you know I love so much. That's where we're going to be. So I'm also inviting you to come. If you look on my social media, you'll see me in costume because I played mass. We call it. I play mass, and you can do that too if you want next year. But come join us. So join us. Join me. Go click on www.shirleyosborne.com. Register, begin to get the elevator, which is our weekly newsletter with all kinds of cool, wonderful tips to elevate your lifestyle, your health, your wealth, your personal power, and your relationships. We send that out every Wednesday night, Thursday morning. It went out this morning. And we do things like I Am Poem, where you get to explore, you answer the question, who am I? Because we're going to be talking about that a lot. That is so basic and fundamental. Who am I? That we do a lot of work on it. We talk about leadership. We do trainings and seminars in leadership. And every couple of months, there is a seminar on one of the 5 areas that we're working on this year. We're answering the questions. So we actually are in question this year, starting with, who am I? When I say we're talking about us, we're answering the question, what about us? Who are we? Who is us? Who is us and who am I? And then what do I want? What do we want as a group of women? What do women as a group want? And what do I specifically want? So today, and every time we come and give you some little bit of information, obviously we don't have enough time to do a whole lot of talking, a whole lot, but we have the whole year. So join up now, and then throughout the year, just absorb, exchange, because you get to share also. You get to share with us some what you know, your experiences, what life has taught you. It's a give and take. I'm sharing with you what I have learned traveling around the world and doing the work that I do. And how I got that is because women shared with me, women and men, but people shared with me. So it wasn't just my school that I learned this. I learned this on the ground, on my feet, on the streets, in jails. I've been in jails to work with women, in parliament. That's it, jail or parliament. And I'm really, really excited this year. I'm really, really excited about being able to share this year. So come join me. Come join me and get as many women as you can to join me. And go to shirleyosborne.com and let's do this. Let's do this. Now, because I was late, I have another live after this, which is a different one. This one is for Montserrat, and it comes up in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to knock off here, which is cool because we have these lives are to be not more than 30 minutes. I'm going to give us just enough time to get a point or two, so that we get some real solid information, and then I'll leave it with you so you can process. And today, what I want to leave with you, that you can share with the men in your life, is that when we step out to explore ourselves, to expand ourselves, to grow, to learn, to develop, it is so that we can make a better world for all of us. Better homes, better communities, better workplaces, stronger relationships, put more love into the world, and more money. We're going to talk about that because studies have shown that where women are, the organizations actually make more money. Money managers are finding that out. Banks are finding that out. Companies are finding that out. So there's so much stuff we have to work on, learn and talk about and just dig into this year. So, and I'm excited about this. So come join me. Come join me. Get some friends of yours and come join me. I want 1,000 women. I want 1,000 women. Can you imagine? Can you imagine 1,000 women, all of us supporting each other? Because we have a community here. We have a community page where you can connect with one another, and talk to one another, share information, make friends, and expand your circle of influence, expand your friendships, make friends with a woman in Ghana, a woman in Nigeria, make friends with a woman in Afghanistan, maybe even, who knows? Because the women in Afghanistan, by the way, they're not just lying down and dying. They're fighting back, they're pushing back. So they're finding ways. The last time the Taliban did this, women took to radio. Women took to radio and started radio programs that the world could listen to. They're looking for ways now and they're finding them. So, and we want to be talking with them, don't we? So, I will see you tomorrow. Have yourselves a lovely day, afternoon, evening, morning. Enjoy your lunch, your breakfast, your dinner. Sleep well if that's where you're going. And come join me tomorrow. When you come tomorrow, come with 2 people. Invite 2 other people. Register them and come. Let's do this. Until next time. Until tomorrow. Take good care. Good care. Okay. And then